In this video, we set up a clean environment for Polars and Jupyter Notebook using UV and Python 3.13. By the end, you'll have everything to follow along with all tutorials in this course. For these tutorials, we start in a fresh directory and use UV as our package manager. It makes installations across different operating systems easy and ensures we are all using the same Python environment. So let's open a terminal and start to download and install the UV package manager. I'm running on Linux and can use the curl command for the download and the installation. In case you're running on Windows, please check the homepage for the correct download and installation commands. I will add the link in the video description below. Now to check that UV is running correctly, we can type UV version. And if successful, we'll see the installed UV version. In order to install Python, we can now use UV as our package manager, specify Python and install the corresponding Python version we are looking for. It will take a few seconds, but shouldn't take long. After the installation of Python is completed, we can begin to set up our actual environment. We will do this using UV init and specify bear so that it creates a pipe project toml for us, which is the configuration file that will hold all dependencies such as the Python version and later also the packages that we install. So let's copy it to the terminal and execute it. We see that the project got initialized and is called Polars Beginner Series, which is the name of the directory that I'm running in. To create the actual virtual environment, we use UV, venv, and give the Python version along. So let's copy it in the terminal and execute it. Now we see that the Python version got installed and that a virtual environment at the location .venv got created. In the file explorer, we can see that a folder appeared. For Polars, we use UV add, which will add Polars as dependency to our project and specify all that it installs, all packages for further operations such as reading Excel files, Parquet files, or we can use convenient methods to transform a Polars DataFrame to pandas, for example. So that's why we see that a lot of packages got installed, not only Polars. After the installation, we check our virtual environment and import Polars. So we need to activate the environment. Again, I'm running on Linux. On Windows, it looks slightly different. We can run the interactive Python REPL by typing Python. So now we're in the Python terminal and we can check that the import of Polars is working. We import Polars SPL, which is the common convention to import Polars. And if we type Polars standard version, we see that the correct version got installed, which is 1.34 in this case. Now let's quit the REPL by typing quit. We will work with Jupyter Notebooks and we need to install the notebook package for this. We'll use the classic Jupyter Notebook interface, which integrates well with VS Code. For this, we use UV add notebook. We copy and paste it to the terminal and start the installation. Now, to check that everything works correctly, we can type Ctrl-Shift-P. This all opens the command palette and we can type create new Jupyter Notebook. A new Jupyter Notebook is created and we can type in the first cell the import statement for Polars again. So import Polars SPL. When we execute the cell, we are asked for specifying the correct kernel we want to use. We use the Python environment that we just installed inside the .venv folder. For me, it is called Polars Beginner Series because it's the name of my directory. For you, it might be something else. So let's select it. Once we see the green tick below the cell, we know that the kernel is up and running. So we can create another cell and also verify that we are using the correct Polars version. When we start the cell, we see again the Python version that we installed before. So great, everything is working correct. We close the notebook. We don't need to save it. We just discard it. In case you want to follow along in VS Code as well, you can install Visual Studio Code. It's open source and free. And then we need to install 2 extensions. The first one is called Python. It's the one from Microsoft and you can install it. The second extension that we need is called Jupyter. It's from Microsoft as well, and you need to install it as well. In case you're not working from VS Code, that's no problem. You can just open a new terminal and we can start the Jupyter Notebook server from here. We just need to activate our environment and now we can run the notebook server by typing Jupyter Notebook. The server is now started in the background and you can open it from your browser. And now the Jupyter Notebook is up and running and we can create a new Jupyter Notebook by picking the Python terminal. And we can have a look at what we achieved so far. Our setup is now complete. We created a bunch of files using UV. It configured a PyProject terminal, which is the configuration of our project. It states the name, which is again the name of the folder that I'm using here. It pins the Python version for Python 3.13 and further pins all dependencies that we installed. We added Notebook as a main dependency and Polars as a main dependency. In contrast, during the installation, it also contained a bunch of sub-dependencies. They are all resolved and stored inside this uv.log file. Now, whenever we are facing a situation where our environment is not working correctly, we might have installed different packages or we might even have deleted it completely. I just do it here for demonstration. You see that the .venv folder disappeared. And now when I want to recreate the folder and I still have access to the log file, I can just run uvsync. And it installs all the dependencies for me again. The uv.log file is also really useful for sharing your environment with other people, so they can directly reinstantiate everything. They install the correct Python version and all dependencies that you need for your project. That's it. We set up a modern reproducible Python environment using UV and installed Polars and Jupyter Notebook for the rest of this video course. In the next module, we'll start working with Polars data frames and see what makes them fast and intuitive. Thanks for following along. If this helped, please give it a like and consider subscribing so you don't miss the rest of the series. Thanks for watching and until next time.